Hello, hello. Sorry for the wiggling here. Zoom in a little bit. And of course, my printer's going to start. I'm not sure. She's been very talkative this morning. I did a lot of printing earlier, and she's still going to talk. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Oh, we are crooked. Let's see if we straighten out because that. Good morning, Sala. How are you? Let's see if we can get that straight because, yeah, that's going to drive me. Cordelia, good morning. Loved your paper bag very much. Let's see if we can go that way. I am doing very well. I had a lot of fun yesterday. Went to a friend's house that I hadn't seen in a while, and just had a nice relaxing time. But gotta get back into this. Oh yes. Oh yes. I hope everyone who celebrates had a wonderful 4th. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome. Um, I am going to start out with just a real quick. So, for those of you that showed up at Biddy Penny's channel on July 4th, it was hysterical. Um, Biddy and we talked a little bit afterwards, and I'm like, okay, we were really focused. We were really, um, talked too much. We were like on a mission, and at least I was, because I was determined, even though we did a lot of prep before, um, when it came to our journals and just how we both came up with the ideas of what we wanted to do and where we were both at. Um, it was just, and usually it's me that struggles. So it was just, but I so enjoyed it. And I continued while we were talking, and even later on into that day, I did some adulting, cleaning the house, and then I just came back to this. So I was able to put this together. Um, Good morning. Is it Lee or Leah? Um, so I was able to finish this. So I'm just going to real quick show some things, just some highlights. And then shortly after this live, there's going to be a full flip through that will be shown for this. So I'm just, okay, Leah. Okay, great. Thank you. I don't like to say people's name wrong. Um, and then we're going to get into the project. We're going to make some cards. We're going to do some collaging and all of that fun stuff. We're going to use some stencils with acrylic paint because we can do that and just have fun. So I am introducing, for those of you that don't know, whenever I make an album or a journal of any type, whether it's a scrapbook album or a journal that has sewn signatures in, and those are um, um, my terms. So when I say journal, it's got sewn signatures, and an album is a scrapbook album where there's flips, and there's hinges in the spine and all of that. So that's how my vocabulary comes out. So this is a journal. It is a 4 signature journal. Was very ambitious when we were together, but we did get far. And every album and or journal that I make, I provide a name to it. And no two names are ever used. I have a list of names that I've already used, whether they're the tiniest of tiniest or the largest of large. This one I am introducing as Happy. I thought it was appropriate. I actually dug into my stash and I found these awesome letter dies. I believe they're from scrapbook.com. There's a set of the lowercase and then a set of the uppercase, and just had fun putting it through. I used 2 digitals, one from My Porch Prints, and that's this one here, and it's called American Cottage, and I'll have those linked down below when the live replay goes up. I'll have those down in the description. And then I also used one from Sweet Pea Curiosities of these adorable children. Um, Whether they're little girls holding sparklers, and that's what I think of for July 4th. I just see little kids running around with these sparklers, because I know that was like a highlight when I was a kid many decades ago. Because to me that was fun, and it was the only time we could use them, and we had to be very careful. And she has these in different sizes. So the cover is made completely from cardstock. There is no chipboard on this. The spine, you can see, is very thick. It's not going to collapse. The cover is made with 110-pound Recollections craft, and it's doubled up right here in the spine. And then as you pull down your layers of your cardstock or printables, that's going to even strengthen these covers as well. We have a ribbon closure, and I added one of the bowl pins with an infinity charm. And then on the back, we have 2 more children that are just absolutely adorable, and they're in like a sepia. That's like a brown tone, which I thought just accented the tones that are going through the the digital. And then there's the name. I always put the name in the back, and then there's my branding on the back as well. So of course we've got poofs. Must have poofs. Love my poofs. Um, I just love poofs. And then when we untie this, the closure can be pulled completely out through this. So this is open. It's just glued up here and here. So if the recipient wants to change the ribbon, they can. If they want to add another closure style to it, if they need to make this longer because they've added so much, they can. Usually I attach it underneath, but I forgot. So, we just adapt. We just continue to adapt. I took one of the vertical pages and did it 2 per page. So just simply took that as my cover. I don't think anything else needed to be added. Again, let your paper, whether it's digital, whether it's pattern paper, let it do the work for you. And that pretty much didn't have to add flowers, didn't have to add any more embellishments to this. And then I think with the infinity charm hanging right here, that's all she really needed. Here we just put an inside paper. The recipient can add a pocket to it, and this is a hidden spine. So this was put on a piece of cereal box weight and wrapped in one of the digitals, and then the 4 signatures are thrown in. Each signature is 11 full pages, so technically you will have 44 sides in each signature. I do like to allow for a lot of journaling space and room for whoever would receive this, whether it's going to be a gift or whether I list it up and the recipient is getting mailed to them, they can add more pockets. They can add more tucks and tags and clips and everything else. I always like to have that freedom because with every one that I do put on my website, there's a bag of goodies. The fussy cuts that I did, the scraps of paper, you know, as long as they're a certain size, and they can just have fun adding. There's side tucks, these are belly bands, and then I simply just took the, I think I'm going to change out those paper clips. Just took some of the pattern paper as well, folded it in half, and I used a border punch. And again, great journaling spot. That just sits over here, adds a little bit when it comes out. I did not add any lace to this. I thought with the, what do you call it? With the ribbons and the twine, I thought that was enough for it. Added some music sheets, did some tabs, and then with the smallest size, little girls and boys, I made them into charms. So this is how I use up my scrap, natural, cardstock, the heavyweight, and just layer it like 5 times. And then I have a little boy and a little girl on each side, and then just go through. And these are not, I mean, you can hardly bend these, but these are great charms. I love making paper charms, but I also cannot resist adding my metal. So I have a heart on that one. And then for some of them, I created a hidden tuck with the little girls, and then this just comes out, and that can be a secret spot where you can journal here, and then have a picture up here, or you could journal up here, and then put the picture down here, and it's tucked away underneath that. So there will be a full flip through. I did love this digital. You know, it has baseball image. It's got apple pie. Look at that picture of apple pie. Just absolutely love it. And then I just added red, white, and blue along with twine to the tags. I pick and choose which ones that I add that to. Usually it's almost every single one. Some of them I staple down with just some loops coming off of it so that they can hang down. And then we just added some embellishments to the pockets and some stamping from our stash. And that's a little pocket. These can come out. You can journal on back of those too. So I had a lot of fun with this. It was just a fun journal to put together. And I love the digital. And as I said, after this replay, and both in the flip through, I will link down to the 2 digitals that I used. Always love to give them credit with their wonderful works that they design for us. And then if you want, I'll also link to the shop. I do believe I will be listing this. So if you're interested, it will be there for you. All right, so that is happy. Happy, happy. Hello, Teresa. Good morning. Hello, Vicky. Good morning. Thank you for coming here. Welcome. Just checking some comments here. Okay, so, you know, Cordelia, I like to stay home too. You know, there's just times where, you know, just not in the mood. But along with all of the journals, there's always a free gift that's associated and given there as well. Okay, so the cover is made a month ago. I was going to say I made several covers, and they've just been on the shelf mocking me. No, Cordelia, your covers do not mock you. No, they do not. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13. 13 off to my right. Now, that does not include the 2 albums that I have for Creep on June that I'm still working on. But these are journals, so these are albums that already have the hinges in different sizes. I think it's a 4x6, an 8x8 with 3.5-inch spines or 2-inch spines. So they're ready to go. And then I have a bunch of single signatures that are already sewn together, and I just need to embellish them. So they do not mock you. Sometimes that's therapy as well. You know, it's right up there with ink smushing and just creating a master board. You know, you know what, I'm just going to make a bunch of covers and just have them ready for when I need them. So never think that. Never think that. Um, for me, when I see them, I'll eventually get to them. And they just recently came out of a bin that they were sitting in because I couldn't see them. And yes, as I was pulling them out, I was going, oh my, oh my, oh my. I have lots of covers and albums to do. So I don't need to make any. So that's a good thing. All right, so what we're going to do today, just continuing on the theme celebration, red, white, and blue, all of that things, all of that fun, festive. Again, not necessarily, you know, to the 4th of July holiday for us, but just that color scheme. So kind of using that as a prompt. I was going through my papers, and of course I found this one. They recently did a whole paper collection, and I was very bad. I can't help it. We have that one, you know, we have that one designer that just pulls this right on in, and mine is definitely Tim Holtz. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you? Um, so I was going through those. I just couldn't resist. And they did, for that one, I did I want it all. And this one is correspondence. But what pulled me in was, okay, this is all, it's just red, white, and blue. It's got some vintage into it, and all of that fun stuff. So that's what we are going to break into. And usually every time that I go into a new paper pad, I know there's multiples, and I automatically pull one of each out, and I set the others aside. I don't know why, but it is just something that I do. And then if I have to go in to get more of that one paper, I can. But I do know that these are double-sided, so that's something that I will look at as well. I guess it's kind of my way to hoard certain papers. It's like, okay, I'll use half. I'll use half of it. These are 8x8, so that kind of works for me. I do enjoy the 8x8 or the 6x8.5, because just by pulling out one, I can cut this in half and still have both designs. It's a simple-minded thought that I have. Jennifer, he just does. He just... but Sala, I agree to you as well. Paper is just gorgeous. Paper is just so pretty, and it's, you know, you want it all, and yeah, that's just dangerous. Good morning, Biddy. And yeah, the paper, it has to pull me in. There's just something, like I'll flip through. I don't buy paper just to have paper. I've got to have a lot. 90% of the designs have to pull me in. There's always going to be those few, whether it's a 6x6 or a 12x12 paper pad, that you're just like, oh no. What am I going to do with this? But they are perfect for masterboard bases. They are also perfect to tear up for masterboards or collage because you're not seeing the print anymore. I dug into my card bases that I found, and I love the ease of these. I really do. It's just so convenient to have these. I don't have to cut up my papers or anything like that. So I'm just getting some ready. Now, these are just under, these are actually 5 by 6.5. But that's okay. That's real estate for me. And we are just going to, actually going to work directly on the card base. I'm not going to pull in another base and store them that way. And I'm not going to put any sentiments on these because these are going into my stash for thank you cards for when somebody buys something in my shop. Good morning, Anthony. How are you? Welcome. I'm making a travel journal with TH wallpapers right now. Yeah, that's what this came from. And I guess this one's special because it's a limited release from the vault. So, yeah, absolutely. Now, there is another digital that I'm going to pull in. So I dug into all of my different scraps and everything else as well. So I also, this is going to be all over the place. So I had done a video series for Paper Rose for a scrapbook album, and I pulled out all of the embossed die cuts, and these are pop-outs, so I don't have to cut them, but they were red. So lots of red. So I pulled those out. These are from the Candy series, Treats, Florals, Rose Garden, and Kisses. So I'm going to be pulling some of those out. Of course, I've got tickets and tags from Pink Monarch, and I have labels from Shabby Dabby Doodah. And our focal, let's have some smiley kids and some adults. We're going to use those again. I love these pictures. I love some of the faces and the laughter, and why not? Okay, let's get started. So what I want to do first is create my background. And let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. So if that's 6.5, I'm going to cut this to 6.25. And I have marks on my cutter. And again, I'm not going to measure. So please don't ask me the size. The only thing I'm doing is making sure if I'm cutting a long piece, I'm going up 6.25. I know. It makes people crazy, but that's all I'm doing. That is all I am doing. And we are just going to create backgrounds. And I probably should, and all my scraps are just going to pile up over here on this side. And as I'm looking through my papers, I'm just seeing which, oh, I like that one. And I'm just seeing which one is catching my eye. And I know that's 5 inches, so this needs to go to 4.75. So I'm just making sure that I'm creating that border down there. It's the only thing I'm making sure. Other than that, length, width, no. Nope. Not gonna do it. And we're even gonna eyeball some of these pieces. So that's how I'm going to build my texture, my bases, and everything like that. So that's what we're going to do first. We're just going to have fun cutting. Also need to have what that is going to... Oh, I love that one. And we're just going to be cutting these. I'm sorry, I'm reading that. I shouldn't be reading that. But I am. I am. I think it's cute. Made that wrong cut. That's okay. Now, of course, we can rip and who doesn't love to rip our papers? But I still just want to know what the 6.5-inch height is. Or 6.25. So these, again, these are the bases. We're going to see how many cards we can get. See if we can get 9. I don't know, but we're going to give it a shot. We will be using stencils. And acrylic paint. Why not? Alright, so now I went through and used all the papers. And now we're just going to fill in. Okay. I do not like to, it's going to sound horrible. To me, if I measure, I'm wasting time. I know that sounds horrible. But I really, really do feel that. So we just see what can work. I'm okay if I have gaps in it. Because we'll be able to push, and now I'm able to bring in, of course that's too small, the scraps that we have. So you can see each one's going to get a little different. And then I'll completely forget how to put these together. So there's a strip of something. Nope. And that, believe it or not, is collaging. And you're just taking pieces and throwing them together. That's collaging. Now, some can say, okay, yeah, but you've got a lot of overhang there, this or that. That, for me, is creating the texture, because it's not going to be smooth. All right, last one. Sometimes also when we look at our papers, there's certain things that we want to sit on it. And that's okay. Okay, so now from that, this is what I have left. These are going to stay on the table because, except that one, because now even more textured and layers going to come in. All right, let's get these glued. And yes, you knew the vintage photo was going to come in, right? Well, we're going to go light. Let's check the comments. Hello, Dawn. First one. So yes, we went to a very good friend of ours' house, and I don't think we've gotten together for dinner, but I don't think I've ever been to their new house. So I got to see that. But I also got to see people I haven't seen in forever. Absolutely forever. And it was just absolutely wonderful seeing them catching up. And there were so many people there. So many. But it was a really, really nice time. Very nice. And then my husband's whole family was there as well. So they were invited. And then I know my husband, he likes to stay very late. Yeah, I'm so not a late person. I used to be. I used to be always a late person. I could stay up all night, and now I just do it because I don't sleep. So, there's that. But I am definitely, I wake up very early. Whether it's I just wake up or, just can't sleep. Got too many ideas going in my brain. So I was able to not have, look at him and say, okay, you know what, I'm ready to go. I'm going to be falling asleep in the corner soon. Oh, I hope I remember this one. We'll do it that one. But it was very nice. So I hope you all had wonderful plans, if you've had any. Biddy, I did show the journal in the beginning, but I'll have a flip through. That will air shortly after this. See, I knew I was going to do that. All right, watch. The beauty of liquid glue. Now, how did I do this? Now, you all are saying, Des, you messed this up. I'm hearing you. Well, that's okay. I'm going to pivot. Put that down. Put that one down. And then, And tore that because I did not want to move my cutter. Well, let's see if we can do this again. Stella, you seem to, you know, have fun with everyone. Where's your cohort, Flo? Where's she? You two just have way too much fun together. Okay, where are they? I'm seeing keywords here, you know, challenge. My goodness. Checking comments. Oh, yeah, the whole cooking, Vicky, and last weekend, my sister, oh, we're going to turn that one around. My sister had gone away, and she had asked if I would take care of her furry bot. We call him Quizzy. It's a cat. He is not permitted to be boarded. Last time he was boarded, he received a grade of an F, because all he did was hiss and howl the entire time he was there. And when my sister showed up to pick him up, she had to go down into where, you know, they, where all the animals are. And the moment she showed up and they opened the cage, because he wouldn't let them come in to get him, he was not a pleasant little guy. He literally leaped from the cage to my sister. So they kind of asked and said that he's not permitted to be boarded. There again. He's mean. He was not a happy little guy. So, and my nephew, her son, was not available. He was actually going away. So she had asked if I would watch him, and I said sure. I did think about bringing him here, but I believe Max would not have enjoyed that at all. He is extremely protective, and I was not going to deal with that. So that whole weekend, I would drive over in the morning, take care of all the things that I need to, and he's diabetic, so he has to get a shot. But that whole weekend, I was either being hollered at by cats to be fed. Or, yes, I was cooking or washing a dish. It was a very horrible, um, horrible weekend. So, yeah, I, I am not retired. I want to get retired. But that won't happen for a while. So, yeah, it's a never-ending vicious cycle, Vicky. Never ending. But yeah, that whole weekend, and when she got back, I said, okay, I have been hollered, and that was not supposed to go there. That's supposed to go there, and this is supposed to go up here. I heard yous. So yeah, when I told her, and she just laughed. She thought it was funny. Let's see. Good morning, Kelly. I just got glue all over my iPad. That's funny. Hello, Maddie. Good morning. Ave, good morning. I'm catching up. Yes, Anthony. If your paper is warping, um, with the glue that you're putting on, yeah, you're putting too much glue down. Um, you can say I'm only putting a little bit. That's why I do like the fine tip. It kind of controls that. Um, but yeah, if your paper's warping, then you're either putting too much, or it could be the type of glue that you are using as well. Now, you could use Fabri-Tac, but that's just, it's a phenomenal glue. It does not warp because it is alcohol based. It does have an odor to it. But again, it is an awesome glue. I only use it when I'm putting literal fabric or lace down. And it's not something to buy in bulk because, again, it's alcohol. It's an alcohol base. It's not a water base. And it will evaporate. Okay, so, wow. Okay. 9 bases. But we're not done with them yet. Not done with in under an hour. Okay. Yes, Sala, exactly. That glue that you're using could have a heavy water base. Um, Elmer's glue is great, but it's mostly water. So I do not recommend it when it comes to. It was Sala. I just went with it. It was like it was just yeah. I can tell you're all. Where is Flo? Flo is not here. Biddy. So this paper collection, you know that I had texted you immediately when I purchased the I Want It All when they released Tim Holtz's papers from the vault, the 8x8. This one is from that collection when they did that recently, and it's called Correspondence. It's, of course and again, it's not for everybody, but this is it for me. All right, so now we have these big blocks going on here, and this is where I just start. I'm going to lay them out, at least I think. I want to make sure I'm kind of, sort of in view here. And I'll try to get as many as I can in. There's just two I cannot, and that is okay. Um, so now what I want to do is I'm just going to add snippets in. And these are going to be torn off of all of the offcuts that I've got going on here off to the side. Now, whatever scraps I have, of course, they're just going to go into where all my journal stuff is, because that's where these scraps will live. And you can see I just broke that up. Well, now, Biddy, I am hoarding half of the sheets. I only pulled out one of each. Yes. And I really don't want to go into any of those. So, yeah. And Anthony, it could be um, the tip that you have if there's a lot of glue. What type of, I don't know if you said here, Ultra Bond from ThermoWeb and Art Glitter Glue. It could be the tip. You're just putting so much down. Again, you just really need a very small amount when it comes to glue. I got to remember. Oh, hello. So I usually, I mean, with every piece, I just do a thin outline and then I just squiggle up. It's a technical term. That would be squiggle. Now, this is going to go somewhere. So we've got these little boxes that I've got going on here. This one I think is done. We're going to move that off to the side. This one I think is, we're going to add that there. So, Biddy, I do hoard. I do hoard. I'll hoard half of the paper collection. And then I'll put it somewhere that I'll forget. Because, yeah. And remember, since it's a paper pad, everything goes together. Oh, wrong one. I think that one's done. Renew. Flo has arrived. Are you all happy? Flo, we have missed you. Um, I'm just saying that, you know, you were missed. Just saying. Ah. And yes, Biddy is absolutely correct. People were screaming. Very, very much they were screaming for you to arrive here, which I think is absolutely awesome. Very, very awesome. Where was it? Okay. Wasn't quite sure where I was going. Okay, that I think is done. Now I've got these. Am I still in view here? Yes. Why, thank you, Flo. I wasn't going for good proportions. Actually, kind of, you know, just slapping it on. All right, now this one, I do want to break that up a little bit. So we're going to eyeball the cut. And we're going to tear that down. I think for that one, I just need something. Wow. Okay. If you all saw that, it's okay. That one's done. Down to our last 4. All right, that's a lot of blue going on there. And I think, actually, no. Yes. No. No. Yes. That one's done. Oh, hello. Oh, you're nice. Okay. All right. We're just going to do that. We're just going to go right up on that. And, oh, yeah. one's done. We're getting close. No idea what that sound was. That just was in my house. All right. This needs something. Nope, too even. That one's done. No. Okay. So there. Card bases. Done. I have all of my wonderful scraps here. So out of each of the sheets, which was 12, this is what I have left. Now I'll go through these because I won't keep that. I know. But these will make great tags. That's what I'll use them for. Where can I put these now? Out of my way. We'll put them up here. All right. So now we have our card bases done. Oh, I forgot two. So here are our card bases. These, to me, are great just the way that they are. That's, to me, that's awesome. Slap a sentiment on and we've got a card. However, we're going to take this up a step. So, I'm starting to get into stencils, which, like, I need to get into something else. But, I'm starting to get into stencils. You don't always have to use a paste. I can, Ave, I can make several more cards. Absolutely. What did I say? In your head. Yeah, there was just a strange... No, there was... Are you talking about the sound that I said? Yeah, there's just a sound that I keep hearing. And I subsequently take those cards. Okay. You can use acrylic paint. You don't have to use a paste. Which I think is great. Who knew, right? I didn't. And I have no idea where these are. These were a gift to me. These look like a Amazon type thingy. But I love these designs. They're very geometric-y. That's another technical term that we've got going on. Okay. So, and I'm going to use this, a blending brush. You don't need a lot. Now, I saw this on Denise Love's channel when she does awesome abstract watercolors. I had linked to her before, and I'll do that again. But, yeah. So, we're just looking to put the illusion of something back in the background here. And what's cool is this will dry quick. Yes. I didn't want to add, I don't like using white pigment ink. I think, my personal opinion, it fades. I don't know. That's just me. But this is just going to add something. And if I forget to clean this, it's good. It is white acrylic paint. White acrylic paint. But again, I don't know where these stencils came from. And this will just be washed. So again, just a little bit going on there in the background. You just don't want too much on your blending brush. And this is the only thing that I use that blending brush for, is acrylic paints. You can do the whole thing. You can just do one section. You can see that's what happens when you have too much. But, you know, it's mixed media. You know, just have fun with it. Live large. Be daring. And any acrylic paint will do. Any. Alright, we're just going to go right down on this one. Oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Again, and it's just giving that little bit in the background. And just because I have these layers, it doesn't matter. Now, and you can certainly do ink as well. But I've already got a lot of vintage photo going on here. Not that there is never too much vintage photo. Let's be clear. I'm just saying. But I just want the contrast. So this for me is replacing the idea of splatters. Now that I've said that, don't think there's not a little bit of a snow chance coming in. Because for me, I really do feel that white splatters are part of vintage. I really do. I don't know why. For me, they are with each other. I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm running out of space to put these. I'm Just saying. And I just got acrylic paint on my water bottle. Well, that'll be fun. So just have fun. Use what we've got. I know when I started crafting, acrylic paints was one of the first things that we dove into as kids, along with Crayola crayons, to just start having fun. And those paints, oh yes, those paints are just fine. I am going to put these in water, so I will be right back. Okay, I am back. You know, I really would love to have a sink in my studio. I said that to my husband one time. He looked at me and walked away. Yeah, no, this white paint on here will drive me crazy. So just hang on, guys. Just hang on, hang on. And I'm just using alcohol to clean that up. Rubbing alcohol. Okay. Who is scared of Betty? No, please. I'm looking at the comments here. Uh, I like scorched timber as well. I like it mixed with vintage photo, but no, vintage photo is mine. This is the one thing that I will never be without. And if anyone would ever mention that this is getting discontinued, we all need to look out, because I will scour and buy up everything they've got. It's just, it's horrible. Okay. So here they are. I'm not worried about if they're not perfectly dry, because again, now we're going to put something on top of these. So I'm going to set these aside and let them continue to dry. I'm going to move Happy. Yes, she is still on my desk here. That's not a good thing. All right. Happy, if anyone's wondering who came in late, is the name of the journal that I was making with Biddy on Friday the 4th. And again, there will be a replay shortly after this live goes into replay. All right, so these are the two shades of blue, or the blit. Okay. Okay. Nope, I'm not colorblind. This is red. This is a different shade of blue that I'm going to use on top of these. But I'm only using these as mini frames because we need to choose our happy faces. I love these faces. I absolutely love them. All right. So we need, okay, this is going to be amazing. If, all right, I want that one. I want these two. If I get all 9 cards done. I want that one. Oh, he's too cute. Sorry, these little kids just, oh my goodness, they just make me smile. They really make me smile. Let's see. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, where are they? I need 2 more. And we need to get some adults going on in here. Absolutely. I know that's 2, but I thought there was another one that I saw that was great. Now, these are from Tracy Fox, and they are called Joyful Portraits and Joyful Youth. Youths. What movie is that from? The Youths. All right, let's see what we've got. Going to set that one aside. Yes, Maddie, my cousin Benny. I just watched, or I should say listen. So a lot of times when I'm in here, there is something in the background. Silence just, yeah, no. So I'll have something playing that I've watched many times. All right, this can go away. If anybody, that was a disposable thing, pad. And I just put my brush in water. They just take forever to dry. All right, so I'm gonna grab a sheet of each of these. I don't think I'm gonna need more than that. I'm going to need hang on. I think we're going to have an avalanche here. All right, we stopped the avalanche. And again, I don't want to measure. So I am just going to glue these down. And it's going to have the thinnest of borders. And the cardstock I really like to use for this type of stuff when I'm just adding layers and layers and layers on top of cardstock and mixed media. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Is I do enjoy the Recollections 65 pound because you can have a lot of layers and it won't add too much bulk. And I'm just going with the thinnest of thin. And yes, I am just going to cut around these with my long shears. So by all means, if you like to measure, please do your measuring. But these digitals have been sitting in my bins, and I am now all about, okay, we need to use this stuff up. Nope. I do focus on the corners first. But anything left, I just like to put things along a straight edge because to me, that starts me out. And I have no idea which ones are going to go where. And now we cut. Checking out. Where's my, oh, there it is. Now, these also are bright colors, but we know it's going to be coming in again. It will make another appearance. And that's kind of why I didn't go around the photos, because this mat's so thin. I know the vintage photo is going to go up on that. Okay. So now we have all of our happy, cheery, smiling faces. I just really love these. Love, love, love. Now, I am one that believes vintage photo is for any color, whether it is the pinkest of pinks all the way to the darkest of grays. It alters the color. And it tones it down. At least in my opinion. So I am one to use it on anything and everything. Some, you may have, or a thought that says, well, I don't like it on the pinks or whatever. And absolutely. Have fun creating your art. All right, so we're going to line these back up again. Let's make sure I'm in view. Now, I am going to pull in one more thing because so everyone needs to ask Biddy to do a video on how she makes her alcohol ink tape. I have watched many videos on this technique and mine never come out. My alcohol still wipes off. So, I can't do that. So I'm going to be using something different, and I'm going to be curious to see what it looks like. Okay, these people need to go here. We are just going to slap them down. Boom. Okay, that's where they lay. So, I had seen someone, I think it was Gail Agostinelli. Oh God, Biddy, don't guide me through it right now. Are you kidding me? I couldn't get to my brown alcohol markers even if I tried. Nope. Mm-mm. Color your tape and let it dry. It doesn't work. It comes off my tape. Don't make me whine live on YouTube. My goodness. It does not work for me. Nope. Oh, I forgot what my drink was. It wasn't water. Okay. So, I think I saw Gail use this. And what this is, what is that? That heat stuff tape. Um, oh, thank you, Flo. I just love them. They make me smile because they're smiling. I mean, look at these faces. I just love them. These three, when they grew up, are causing so much trouble, and that's a good thing. Yep, I could see it. Him, he's ready to take off. Yep, love it. But she had used this, and it does the job. So, we are going to use this. Now, I'm hoping that my funky nope. So it comes in yellow, and I'm just going to put a piece down. So now, if Biddy will do that video, then I will do a video on slow stitch. Or stitching in general. Hey, that one's upside down. Always make sure your cards are right side up. Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. So this isn't bad. You just can't tear it. And I just tried to use it on with my crazy scissors, my deckled edge, and yeah, that didn't want to work. So it's not bad. For me, it's an awesome alternative. And that's what we're going to go with. Yep. So I am just putting this randomly. Oh, covered her eye perfectly. Onto them to give that look. And I know you're all saying, you know, Tim Holtz sells right. I know. I know. Don't go there. Right, and I think I want to add another one to that. And our last one. Alrighty. Hold on, I don't want to pop them up. That's what I was debating. Do I want to pop these up? Nope. Now these are just going to sit on here. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. Everything else is chaotic in the background. I am not going to have these centered. There's certain things that I don't want to cover up. It's fun, free game. Okay, will that work? Yeah. He just needs to sit right there. And since you used an acrylic, or we used an acrylic paint, I mean, yeah, we've got some bumps in it, but it's not like um, a paste where it's just sitting on top of the paste. It's actually going down to the card. So that's cool too. All right, that's that level. And I really hope I didn't put anyone upside down. What? Dawn, how did you know that? Oh. Nobody needs to mail me anything. And Dawn, how did you know? How y'all know that? Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yes, tomorrow is my birthday. Yes. And it is awesome. I will be 57. Yes. I was not one of those people that I never cared about a number. Never cared about it. Never really focused on a number. But when I was turning 50, I was like super stoked. And I mean super stoked. Um, because for me, I was able. Nope. I was. See, we pivot. Nope, not using those. Um, because I was able to say, I don't know, again, I am very odd. I was able to say, I am a half a century years old. I just thought that was cool to be able to say that. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Sala. Thank you. Yes, yes. I believe every day is a birthday because we can celebrate anything we want any day. All right. So I don't know if I'm going to add those. They need something. That's a given. I just don't know. Yeah. Like a Heinz 57. Dawn, you're awesome. Spicy and tangy. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's too funny. All right, so we're just adding the final pieces of collage. We're not going to add too much to that. I don't want to take away too much from the, this cannot sit there. That needs to sit right there. We're not going to take too much away from the background and the photos, but this works on my whole concept of threes or thirds, however you want to put that. And that needs a hole punched. So yeah, so we're just gonna add just a couple more pieces, and then I'm feeling that splattering coming in. Yes, I'm adding holes to our pieces. Because that's actually how tickets were. Now, you could also have fun with stamping. You could, I mean, you can just, keep going with these. I do think, though, that this has got to be, where are we at? I think this is my quickest live. Yay me! And whenever we have, whenever I see a kit that's got like a lot of ephemera bits, which I really don't have to, look for them anymore, only because I am a member of the Pink Monarch subscription, and I absolutely love it. Love, 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 love. Biddy, I think you got me hooked on them. Or you told me about their subscription. So that's one subscription that I do. And I think that's really the only subscription that I do. And there's always these little bits in there when it comes to their kits. And they're different every month. But again, you do run into, okay, yeah, I don't like that theme this month, but the kits are minimum 50 pages each of the kits, and I think it's $9 a month. So this is one of the reasons why I kept some of the cardstock backgrounds large, was because I knew I was going to put this next level down of ephemera bits, whether it was going to be pieces that I stamped or the die cut pieces. The die cut pieces were just too bright. There was no way I was going to put those on there. But I'm determined to find something for them. So these little pieces are breaking some of those larger backgrounds up. You could also use paper scraps for this too. You could stick with the paper pack and just keep adding bits of those papers. Oops. And now I do not glue completely on the back. I'm good if it tears up. I hope I am not missing anybody. That was here. Okay. Our final step. Okay, so first let me. Yep. Yep. You should do this before you put your your focal point on. Just saying. Just saying. All right. I feel scorched timbers coming in. So this is what we're going to splatter our cards with. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. I'm funny. So, in case you can't tell, there was a huge pivot that happened here as I was creating. And honestly, it's just what happened. So these were going to be brighter. These were going to be, very much. So they just took a turn for the vintage. And yes, I buy Tim's box, but I think I'm going to have to throw it away soon. And that's going to break my heart. So she's getting all kinds of wonky. And I want my thing here. All right. I'm slowly starting to like to use a fan brush. Now, this is going to dry very quickly as well, which is awesome. I am trying to keep it off of the portraits. We're not going too heavy. I don't want to come over with the white. And honestly, that's because I've got the white acrylic paint in the background, and I don't want to take away from that. There is going to be one more thing that I add to these because I just can't resist. And our last one. And even though I'm in the box, these are going all over the place. All right. I'm going to add red stickles to areas. And it's just going to be in one area, whether it's on the children, on the card, Um, but I can guarantee you it'll be in sets of 3. Hmm. Or it'll be an odd number. I don't know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. All right. Let's see what we've got. I do think that's all I'm going to add to them, though. I mean, I could just keep going. I could start stamping and just but now the stickles needs to dry. Am I still on screen? I am. So there's the 8. I am absolutely amazed that in, wow, just under 2 hours, I made 9 cards. Woohoo! That's amazing. So just have fun with your papers. Okay, so let's see. Checking comments. So Jen, you're a fan of the scorched timber too. I do. I like it. Um, it's that perfect dark dark brown, and when it mixes with vintage photo, it is just absolutely um, phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. Um, well, Flo, if you can figure out where I live, you can steal them. Okay. Um, yes, Maddie, you're absolutely correct. Only Tim can do that. Only Tim can get people to purchase a box. And I would still keep it if it didn't. I'm not sure what happened to it. I must have had it somewhere where it just warped either by a heater or something. But that whole rocking thing just makes me nuts. Um, so I'll put it somewhere. Um, oh no, Biddy, I hope that doesn't rise for you. Are you supposed to get more rain? Oh, that's a shame. I was reading about that, or I saw a glimpse of it this morning when it came to that. Oh, thank you, Flo. Good morning, Anne. Or is it Annie? Oh, good. So the rains have finally slowed down for you. We might pick up with rains with Chantal coming up. But as long as everyone continues to stay safe and healthy. So, again, just have fun. I work directly onto the card bases. I'm pretty impressed with that tape. Oh, we'll see. We shall see. Although, I do have some of Tim's tape because I did get his July kit, like that was ever a question, um, for his class on July 11th on Simon Says. Um, Biddy, where you live, it's never a dull moment for sure. Yeah, just, just saying. Just saying. I should never have to say to somebody, where the heck, which is not what I said, do you live? I should never have to say that. See, Biddy was telling me a story one time, and she just kept on rattling these things, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, all right, either the house would be burned down or I would be moving. I'm not quite sure which one. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Heidi. How are you doing? Okay. Well, we actually, I mean, I can do something else if you want me to. I don't know what. I'm like, man, I'm just, um, I can show you. Well, something I can show you. It's not. It's kind of like a haul, but it's not. So I can show you my new watercolors that I got. Would you like to see them? Okay. So Biddy says tangle. Okay, I can tangle. You want to tangle? Let's tangle. All right. Let me set these aside, and I can show you a couple tangles. That I can do. We can do that for the next 30 minutes. All right. Now, I am thinking, and this is because of Biddy as well, gang. Um, so, because I keep talking about it, I have my community. Again, there's a free level, so make sure. So, in July, I started filming. Um, in the free level, we're going to do a single signature journal. And then there is a paid level. I'm making sure when I put these down, I'm not putting it on top of the stickles. Um, we're going to focus on the folding of the book page. Pretty much. What happened to watercolor? Okay, well, we can do both. All right. Okay. Now, oh my goodness. Oh, you want to see the watercolor? Okay, so again, as we move along, we kind of refine ourselves. So I am a fan of two watercolors. I like the Lucas, and I showed you that set before. So I finally got my Lucas set. I know it's not Daniel Smith. I know. Surprise. Surprise, surprise. Um, but the other, my number two set of watercolors are Mission Gold. I am a very big fan of Mission Gold watercolors. I like how they move. I like how they react. I think they're at a okay price point. Um, but I've always liked them. I mean, and again, there are a couple others that I like, but those two brands are my favorite. Well, Mission Gold came out with granulating. Yes. Granulating watercolors. Now, surprisingly, I did not get the entire set. But I did get the main, and then you could buy them individually. Now, I have not seen them for sale here in the States, but I did find them from a wonderful shop. I want to say Spain. And shipping was awesome. So these are the granulating watercolors from Mission Gold. I forget the total number that they have, but I love granulating. Love, love, love granulating watercolors. They are, so what the set actually is, yes, these are the two-tone with tourmaline. And they are just, these are all the colors. I don't have all the colors. Amazingly enough, I do not. So I got the 34, and then I added to it with the colors that I just had to have. There were some of the colors that were just awesome. Absolutely awesome. I do believe you can get the set that I just showed. I think you can get that off of Amazon, but again, it's pricey. But these are things I saved. I absolutely saved. But they're awesome. But granulating watercolors, you got to work with them just a little bit differently so that you can get the effects. Water is key. Water is awesome when it comes to your watercolors. Let me make sure I have my water bottle and not my alcohol. So the more water that you have in your brush, the more they will granulate. And you can start seeing it coming up when they granulate. Each one will granulate differently. But again, water is key. If you don't have a lot of water with them, they're not going to do what you expect them to do. So there is a learning curve, and I'm still learning it. But I just love all of that granulation in there. You can see how and it works best on cold press paper. Works best when you're on a block or if it's taped down. But you're still going to see these effects. But you can see now how, as this settles, and again, water is key. As it settles, you're seeing the second color appear in some of them. Same thing with this one. You're seeing this second lighter color that's coming in. Here you've got the darker and a slight purple that's coming in. But you don't want to, and you don't want to constantly rework them. Once you get it down, just let them do their thing. Let them soak into the paper. Like this one here, that's already starting to separate. So I am a huge fan of granulating colors. And again, there's just different things. They're great for big images or washes, or very plain landscapes. Because again, these colors are going to, I'm trying to hold this down so that it does that. You can see the two colors in here. Using granulations for fine detailed work, like a flower that's maybe like this size, or maybe even a little bit bigger with smaller petals, you're not going to get that effect necessarily. You're not going to see it. So these are specific. Do I recommend these? So if you're starting out watercolor, nope, absolutely not. If you've tried watercolor and you like watercolor and you want to give these a shot, Schminke has awesome super granulation. Daniel Smith has super granulation, and I think Holbein has super granulations. I know Schminke, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. It's just the way that I say it. They're available through Dick Blick and all of that. You know, get a couple of your favorite colors and work with them. Because you may find while you love watercolors, you may not like these. You move quick. You can see this has got grays and that pink. These here, this is a more pink, more gray. Here you've got some pink coming into these and all of that. So these are not for beginners. I will not say that. Let's see. Does anyone have recommendations for affordable watercolors? Mine keep flaking off the paper. Are you putting down a thick coat, Sala? Oh, can you please show the brand straight next to the camera so that I can screenshot what I can't afford? No. If you want to see it, that's what these are. You'll also find with granulating colors, they're earthy. That's a technical term, earthy. Okay, you can even see in my palette how they're separating. So again, water is key. So see how you've got all those bits down there? And they're just floating around. Same thing with this one. You've got this blue coming out on the outside of it. You can see just how they separate from the water. And again, it's the granulation. But these will, like that's cool. But these will re-wet just fine. These will mix together just fine. Again, there is just a huge learning curve with them. But a lot of the tones, they are earthy. You know, they're deeper in shades, like even the yellows. There's not a very lemon yellow out there. Even the sunrise yellow, it's got a lot of the gold browns that are going to come down into it um, when it comes to this color. They are just extremely earth. So they're deeper. They're a lot deeper. They're great, like if you've got a large floral for a base, let those colors mesh and then come in with a specific color. Now, affordable watercolors. Um, what kind? Um, well, yeah. So, what type? When you say flaking off the paper, are can you tell me what type of watercolors you're using? Are you using a lot of water? Are you going straight from a tube? What kind of paper are you using? Winsor and Newton are not awful. No, they are not. I like, when it comes to Winsor and Newton, I think they are a great starting. Now you have Winsor and Newton, and then you have Winsor and Newton Cotman. Cotman. Um, the Winsor and Newton, I'll push these aside. So we're going to talk about watercolor. And Biddy, we're not going to tangle today. Because now you all got me gabbing. Just saying. So, all right, this is how I store my tubes. I do like tubes over pans. I do have pans though. But I am a tube person. Again, that's personal preference. There's no difference. Hang on, I'm grabbing something for you, Sala. Oh, that's not it. No. Yes. And hang on. One more. You're a crash, I'm okay. All right. There we go. So, okay. Tubes. And please know that my collection has grown since forever. So, just in case somebody wants to say I'm showing off or anything, no, I am not. I'm walking through this. So, you've got PMC. These are the Shihan. These were not bad in price, and they're good. I like them. I don't know if I have my Winsor and Newton in here. So Winsor and Newton Cotman, again, Winsor and Newton, Cotman. They are good. That's a student grade watercolor and reasonable. Each of the tubes are maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn, about $5, $6, maybe $7 a tube. They also do sell them in a pan set, so you could get that as well, and that's usually a little cheaper and you get more colors. So you could start out with that. If you already know that you like watercolors, then you could go up to the Winsor and Newton. No Cotman, it doesn't say Cotman. You can go straight to them. They are good, and they've been around for an extremely long time. So they are well established. Excellent watercolors. Biddy had suggested the Kuretake. Now they look like this. Now this is just one set that they have. This is actually their vintage set that they came out with. They have other sets of 12, 24, 36, 45. They have over 100 different colors And you can replace them when you use them up. You can purchase them through Dick Blick individually. So each of these little tiny, well, not little, these are big pans, but you can buy this individually to replace it. These are nice watercolors as well. These are more or opaque, all right, than your normal watercolors, but these are great and they are reasonable. Um, when it comes to the set, you can get a set of 24, I think, for around 20. You can get the 36 set for about 35. So it's a nice price and they're widely available. Again, you can get this on Amazon. You can get Mission Golds on Amazon. Just know that Mission Gold has a regular set, a pure pigment set, and the super granulation, the tourmaline, the two-tone granulation set now. And you can get all three on Amazon. So just make sure you read. You know, you might find two sets that are the same, but one's got 15 mil tubes rather than 5 mil. So maybe you can just start out with a 5 mil in this. Just also know with watercolors, you don't need every color. I'm going to say that again. You do not need every color in watercolor. You need primaries, yellow, red, and blue in a cool and a warm shade, and that will give you every color in the world in watercolor, and that's the beauty of it. That is absolutely the beauty of it. You could go with um, a pan set. Now, this is a set by, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Mungyo. It's a huge set. It's a good set. It's a very nice set. So you get lots of colors. I can't, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 48 colors in your pans. And I think this was like $45. So if you're one, okay, this, you know, that you can do too. And these work really nice. Again, this is thicker the way that I swatched it because I didn't add a lot of water to it. So you can go that way as well. It just all depends on what your budget is that you define reasonable. All right. I know there's no more watercolors, and I know once I say that, something's going to happen, but there's no more watercolor sets that I am interested in. I have the different ones that I have, and I have those that are what I'll call precious to me, and that I saved up for. You know, we all have that. So, again, it's just something that you would want to look for. Watercolors are transparent. These are not as transparent. This is transparent as well. So it all depends on the look that you're looking for. These are fantastic, though. These are absolutely fantastic. And they come in all kinds of different sets. All kinds. If you're looking for a tube and you're just starting out, yeah, I would start with Winsor & Newton. I think they would be the most reasonable. And then I think after that, I know QOR, which is now owned by Golden. They have a nice set. I think I have QR. Yeah, here's QOR. And this is a 5 mil tube, which is all you need. This will last for an extremely long time because you're never pulling the paint straight from the tube. And no, if you create a palette, let it dry. You'll be able to reactivate it. Or if you've put it on a palette, let it dry. A little dot goes a long way. I think you can get a set of 24 of these for about $30. And these are good. Now, these are different because of the binder. The binder is very different in these, so they react differently in water. But these are close to watercolors. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Dawn. So the Cottmans are around $8 a tube. That's your average. Well, and Sella, I think Um, I know you hate blending, but there's a difference. Okay? There's a difference when you're blending. Don't get me wrong, there's convenience colors that we always want to get. And I'm just making room here. Um, so I totally understand that. Now, I'm going to pull out one of the best starter watercolors ever. Yep, you are seeing that correctly. It is Crayola, and that's how they dry. So you can see the difference. Good. Water's key. If we take we have our three primary colors. So if I take my blue, and if I take my yellow, which I didn't clean my brush out correctly, I'm going to get green. That did not take us long to do that, right? If I take my orange, which I really need to clean my brush out better, if I take my orange, and if I add yellow, even though that has green in it, I'm going to get a different shade of that yellow. Here's the original. If I take my blue and add the green, I can get a teal. Now I can get a teal green or I can get a teal blue. It all depends on how much blue I want to add to that. So there's the teal green. Here's the green. And here's the blue. Like that. In the matter of seconds, you can get colors. Now, if you're looking for a specific color, then yes, there are some colors out there that were called convenience colors. Like I am a huge fan of Opera Rose. Absolutely Opera Rose. I must have Opera Rose. I don't know why. It's just this pink that when it's mixed with a yellow or an orange or a blue, it just does something for me. Same thing for Madder Rose, which is a very odd color as well. I just love that color too. But if I take this, now remember though, there's some colors that you mix that will give you what we refer to as mud. So yellow and purple. But that doesn't look bad, does it? Looks like a mauve. It all depends on the ratio of the color at which you create. Now I'm starting to get mud. Yellow is very powerful, at least I feel. Again, I am not a watercolor artist in any way, shape, or form. I just, again, it's like therapy. As you continue to mix your colors and see what works and what doesn't, you get a feel for it. Now, I'm also one that I will take a little bit of the black and put that in my colors as well. So here's the original blue, but now we've got that. There's nothing wrong that you cannot put black with any of your colors. That scary color, that color that makes us nervous. It can do wonderful things to shades. That's why I always will suggest, I mean, look, it just does beautiful things with the red. Makes it like a brick red. And this is what the red looked like originally. See, and these are blooms. I love blooms. I love blooms. I'm a bloom girl. That's why I like Canson XL. Yes, you get better results if you're on 100% cotton paper. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not necessarily what I'm looking for. Opera Rose is a shade in watercolor. It's like a fluorescent pink, but it's not fluorescent. It's just a very, very bright, but I'm hearing sounds again. Hang on, guys. Okay, someone's just having a bad day, I guess. It's just very, very bright. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, not there. Found it. So it's this color right here. Now my water's not clean. And you can see how much I love it. I got 2 pans of it going on here. It's just this bright, vibrant color. It does great on its own, but when that mixes with other colors, it just does something. And I can't explain it. Now, salad. And yes, and you know what? Having the colors ready made, then what would work for you is getting a set of tubes, because then your colors are already laid out. But I do suggest to, this here is how I practice mixing colors. I use a Crayola palette, and I just keep playing with the colors to say, okay, this mixes here. And then I'll go into my watercolors and just have fun with it. But absolutely, I mean, you can see I have, you know, the sets with the colors laid out. There are convenience colors that I'll buy, like cobalt teal. You can't mix that color. There is no way to mix cobalt teal. I'm sure there is a way. I'm lazy. I'm not going to mix that. A shell pink from Holbein, titanium buff. You know, those are the, you know, between shell pink, titanium buff, and a white. I like to use those colors as well. True watercolorists do not, because they're not transparent. But I love what a white can do to a color. I love what titanium buff can do to a color to get that hue. Um, yes, and it is. It's Opera Rose. You'll see that in Jackson Art Paints. You'll see it in Winsor Newton. You'll see it with Daniel Smith. You'll see it with Mission Gold. It's not in Lucas. Lucas does not have an Opera Rose. So it is, if you just like go on to Dick Blick, or I'm not sure where you're located, but you know, a local art supply, and just type in Opera Rose watercolor, you should see different companies come up. But it's just this pink. And it just does all kinds of things. Um, and yeah, it's that to me. This is a convenience color. Because you just can't mix that. You will not get that color. Cobalt teal. You will not get that color. So my favorite palette has different brands in it. It's primarily the Lucas because I love the Lucas paints. But there's a couple Holbeins in there. There's a couple. I think there might be one Daniel Smith that's in there. So it's a mixture. Don't have to have all the same watercolors too when it comes to that. Norway. Oh, okay. Oh my. Um, welcome. Uh, the other things. The other thing is too, like, where is it? Maddie said this, and it's true. Your convenience colors, this will fade. Now, it won't fade tomorrow, okay? But again, I don't look for light fastness. I know that's horrible to say, and I'm probably going to get, if somebody's watching this, you know, lots of going on. Again, I am not a true watercolorist. Um, I just like what I like. And I enjoy what I enjoy. And I want to have fun with it. I just want to enjoy that process when it comes to this. Um, I'll understand a little bit. And a little bit of knowledge for me is dangerous. But then again, I'll just keep trying to push something to see how that works and how that goes. To see if it's going to go poof. You know, give me that poof, you know, in front of me that, you know, we don't necessarily want. um, so, yeah. I don't know what you're defining or how you're defining reasonable. But what I can do is just give you names. You know, Winsor Newton, QOR, Mission Gold. The super granulatings are up there. They are not for the faint of heart. But again, they're also not widely available yet here. So, Schminky. If you're looking at granulation, Schminky. That's the one that I see the most, and I think they came out with a whole line for it. So QOR, Mission Gold, Winsor Newton, they're your top ones. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can start out with pans, like I said. And then you can move up to tubes. As you close out the pan, you can buy the tube and then just continue to use the pan as well. Warmer. Yes. Awesome, awesome Biddy. Yes. Check out the Frugal Crafter. She is She is awesome. I think there is not a watercolor that she has not tried. I'm just going to say it that way. There is not. Now, and the best part though, she is a true watercolorist. God, she does beautiful work. Beautiful, beautiful work. Um, you name it, she's tried it. She has literally just tried that. Okay, I'm just gonna let those dry and then I'll cut those up. And all of that. So that was my watercolor. But I was also saying too, before, okay, so these are our cards and they're nice and dry now. My stickles, all right, that one did not dry. But I'll put these back in as I'm talking. So I am going to pretty much end this here. But as I said, in the community, free level, we're going to do a single journal. Now remember, in the communities, whether you subscribe or whether in your free level, the tutorials are step by step. They are full videos. Last month we talked about master boards, and I think that was close to 3 or 4 hours of video, not all at once. My goodness, I would put you all to sleep. But, you know, different topics talked in throughout. When it comes in there, we go into deep dives. So it's not like this, where it's a snippet, or my other videos here. And then the videos are set up the same in the subscription level as well. The subscription level is just more heavily focused on journals and albums and higher level type things, where the free, we're focusing on techniques, we're focusing on cards. Tangles are in both. You get single tangles each month, a new one, and then in the subscribed one, you get the step out as well. But there's 2 videos to each of those. And then we're about to launch more Tangle videos up into the subscription end of that. But I was thinking, and I think I'm going to keep this. You're all gonna hate me. I'm gonna keep it to myself because there's someone that I need to talk with because I just came up with an idea. So stay tuned. Stay tuned with what I think I just came up with. Yeah. So, but that's the community that we've got going on there. So very detailed videos. Lots, I gab. But I go into detail on everything. You get to go into my mind, which, you know, could be scary for some when it comes to that. Shortly, in a little bit, you'll see the full flip through of Happy. So I showed this in the beginning of the video. So if you missed that, you can go back to the replay. And you'll be able to see the brief flip through and talk through, but then I'll have a video for a full flip through. And I'll probably be listing that sometime in the middle of the week. So stay tuned for that, where that will go in there if you are interested. As always, if you have any questions here, please always reach out. I do, Biddy, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're just... Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. I just have this idea, but I need to talk it out first. Now I lost my train of thought because I'm looking at the comments here. But yeah, any other questions? We are eventually in the free level, we are going to go into watercolors as well. So we'll be getting through all of the different mediums and what we can do with them, from alcohol markers, colored watercolors, colored pencils, watercolor pencils, mixed media techniques, all those fun things. We'll be hitting all of those things and all of that. Um, okay, I'll start saying Zentangle. I'm sorry. I'm used to saying tangles. So, Zentangle. Sorry about that, Anne. Um, yeah, so that goes through the communities as well, when it comes to that. And I do have courses available within the Podia as well if you're interested in the introduction. That's always available, um, and all that fun stuff. So now I'm starting to ramble. So, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have an awesome day wherever you are. Always continue to stay safe and healthy. Um, that is just most important to me. Thank you so much for joining me here. I truly appreciate it. I hope you had fun. We kind of talked, I got through 9 cards in less than 2 hours. Can we just go woohoo for that? Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever gotten this many cards done in that time frame. You guys know me. I do things more difficult necessary. And then we just gabbed about watercolors a little bit. The best way to learn watercolors is just play with them. They are wonderful. Emma Lefebvre, she is doing a 31-day watercolor thing right now, and she's taking you through the basics, so she's fun to watch. Um, it's just fun. I love adding water, then dropping it in, and just watching it go. And again, it's like pattern paper. Let pattern paper do the work for you. Just put water down, add the watercolor to it, and it'll do the work for you. You don't have to go crazy with it. That's the beauty. Um, I think you did sign up, Ave. But again, I'll have the link down below. Give me about 15 minutes once this is done. I'll have all the links down in below, so that you can check them out and just make sure. Um, Here in the States, and Tangle, so Tangle means not up here, in the States, but for me, when I say tangle, I do mean Zen tangles. So tangles are what Zentangle is. It's a bunch of tangles that come together. So it's got the same meaning, but it can have two, the string was tangled up, so knotted. Um, I draw a tangle using specific strokes from a pen. So we can have two things. So I'll say Zentangle going forward. I don't want to confuse anyone. Not at all. All right. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. You know how to reach me if you need anything. I will be live next Sunday. So far my schedule is going very well. Um, and then the week of the 14th, next week, I may have a few more lives because I'm actually going to take some time off. So I don't know, not promising, but I will definitely promise Sundays. And then just keep an eye out. There will be a couple videos coming out. So guys, take care. Have fun with the process. Just dig into that stash and just have fun with it. Everything will go together. Absolutely. Give it a try. Your eyes will tell you if it doesn't. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you. Take care.